This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Carty Method Podcast. It is me, Steve Carty, and we are here to look at your photographs. If you're part of Portfolio Lab, which is super easy to join, all you need to do is go to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab or shoot that QR code right there in the corner. And you can also be having yourself as part of this feedback loop. Photographers need a feedback loop. You need another pro like me, 35-year pro, who can actually help you see stuff in your own photography that you don't see yourself. That's what I do. I've been doing it for almost 5 years. I've been doing photo reviews. I started on YouTube maybe 3 years ago, and this has completely blown up. The transformations that I'm creating for photographers who participate in this is absolutely mental. Stephen Bordeaux just became a member, not for the first time, for the 23rd month in a row. Steve Bordeaux, I see you. You are 1 month away from graduating out of your wings and into a new icon next to your name. What's going on, Brother Les? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And also, yes, that is my actual brother, Opal Customs in chat. My older brother, my biggest inspiration. He's 8 years older than me. Fine art painter, incredibly talented artist. My brother is the reason that I have any cool factor at all. I give it all to my brother. All right. So, by the way, I've told you how to submit. Join at thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab. Every other week, we do something different. So this week, I am looking at professional level assignments, meaning pictures that could be on a magazine cover. We are looking at magazine cover images today. It is week 49. Very excited. Let's start, shall we? Our first photographer today is Steve Bordeaux, and the same Steve who just became a member. This is a street portrait taken of this new photographer while teaching him some skills. So this is another photographer. Steve saw him out in the world and took a picture of him while he was teaching him some skills. Shot this with the R6 Mark II with a 70-200 2.8, shot at 70, ISO 1000, f4 at a 200th of a second. This is Steve Bordeaux. Steven, guy, this is a vibe. This is a yes. Super simple execution. Strongly composed. You can see what it looks like as a cover. Good expression on his face. Good exposure. We do have to watch when we have people wearing hats because that top light, you can see where that shadow is like pushing down from the hat. It's not affecting the light on his eyes too much. You did push the hat up a bit, but the look on his face and how satisfied he is, the gray hat, the gray shirt, the non-distracting background, all of this makes this photograph work. Have a look at what this looks like as an 8x10, Steve. You can see it's going to fit to Instagram really nicely as an 8x10 without losing any integrity of the original image. This is a yes. This is what I expect from you. And again, Steve, this is a picture that can fit in your portfolio. It doesn't show his camera. So this is just a yes. Like, you smashed it. Well done. That is Steve Bordeaux. Let's go. Taylor, are you happy? Look at her. She's freaking out. Taylor's happy. I'm happy, Steve. That's how we do it. All right. That is our first photographer of the day, Steve Bordeaux. By the way, if you want the smoke to go off behind me, you got to become a member or do a super chat or something of the like. And then my smoke machine miraculously goes off. Super simple. Yo, this guy, Ammon Thompson, he's a member, not for the first time, but for the 22nd month in a row. Very much like Steve Bordeaux. I got people who've been watching me for a minute here, and Ammon is 3 months away from his, what started as a crown and then turned into angel wings. It's about to turn into a Chautauqua. You're about to get that in 3 months, my guy. Thank you for becoming a member. That is Ammon Thompson, and also my right hand. All right, so Steve, you won. That's clear, right? I gave you an 11. Let's get on to our next shooter. Steve, you killed that. Next photographer on the list is Rafael Ortiz. Again, remember, this week we're looking at magazine covers, pictures that are good enough to go on a magazine cover that are within your niche. Photographer number 2 is Rafael Ortiz, shot in studio 2 weeks ago. Shot with a Nikon D850 with a 35 millimeter 1.8, ISO 100 f6.3 at a 250th of a second with a single Godox strobe in a softbox. This is Rafael Ortiz. Rafael, there's something definitely here. Jeez, I gotta move this smoke out of the way. Jeez. So much smoke, I can't even see my screen. All right, Rafael, let's get into this. First of all, want you to make sure that you don't have your subject so up on your background. You see how your cove is right here, your model's feet's right here. The distance between here and here is less than 2 feet. Your model's shadow is pushing right on the background. Your subject is too close to the paper. Okay, that's the first thing, is that your subject's too close to the paper, and you can see by the distance here to where the cove starts, that distance here and here is less than 2 feet. I put my models 4 feet plus off the background, off the edge here. So I'm talking, I would move my subject another 3 to 4 feet before, and then now this shadow drops over here off the background. So that's just one thing that makes this shot look less messy, because you can see, you can see up here where your light's not hitting, and down here, if you're doing vignetting to your photographs, please stop. It looks super amateurish to see this circle that's happening here. That's not a thing anymore. We don't put this much vignette on our photographs. It's taking away from the main subject. The pose is okay. The clothing is okay. Her head angle is up too much. You're aiming too much under here. I just want you to look at her face up close. We should never ever be able to see under the chin there. Like, it's never, her head angle is too high. It's too high. We're looking up her nose instead of, and we're looking at the tops of her cheeks instead of looking at eye contact. It's literally the difference between your model with her head like that, where it's chin first, instead of like this, where it's eyes first. And then not pulling the head back, but extending the head out. But the head angle has to be on this angle where eyes go first. And if you look here, this is how your subject is, which is basically chin first. You can see that, right? So that, to me, Rafael, it's a good swing, but there's things that you need to lock in. The distance from the background is something you have to lock in. And when you see this big shadow pushing right beside your subject, like, that shadow could be right here, just based on your model stepping upwards. With the light in the same position, that shadow goes from here to over here, which is now out of the frame. And the shadow of the feet go like this out of the frame. And again, reminder, this vignetting that you're adding is so 10 years ago, so 15 years ago, so 20 years ago. Let's stop it. Let's stop doing that vignetting. And I want you to look at other photographers that you may admire and see how far they go when they're shooting on a clear background when it comes to the vignetting. Like, look at photographers that are doing things that you wish that you were doing. Look at the vignetting. Look at the difference between my shot in the studio and your shot in the studio. Let me find you a full length picture of me shooting in the studio. Know that that vignetting is something that it makes your picture look dated. So please, it's something that, like, you can't add it. Look in magazines, notice that it's not there, and then you don't do it. Okay? So the vignetting, we need to let that go. Raphael, this is a good swing, but you're doing an old school mistake and your model's too close to the background. And also this holding on to the hoodie, that's not a pose. Holding on to the jacket, I want to like a different pose. Like, this is too easy. And again, I've seen it a million times. Like, you have to get better at, like, her hands look like claws when they're holding onto this jacket like that. Like, she's not in her best pose. So I want you to work on that. That is Raphael Ortiz. Raphael, thanks for submitting. Again, so close to an 11. So close to 11. So I'm trying to answer your question here. Riddy, this portfolio lab is about members submitting images to be reviewed and how we can better our photography. Yes. If you're not part of Portfolio Lab and I'm not reviewing your photos, join Portfolio Lab so I can actually give you a review on your photography. But if not, then you're watching me review other people's. You know what I mean? If you're looking for instruction, you have to, like, be in Pro Lab. You have to be in Portfolio Lab if you're looking for personalized instruction, or you have to book me for coaching. This is YouTube. This is free. Anyone can watch it. But yeah, it's like, go to thecartymethod.com. Like you hear me say over and over and over and over and over again. Go to thecartymethod.com. Tell me where you are on your journey, whether you're starting a photography business, developing your work, or fixing your photography. Like, just go through here and act on something if you want me to help you directly. If not, then you're just a viewer, which, again, there's no such thing as just a viewer. Like, I appreciate my viewers, but you're watching me help a very small segment of people who step up to the microphone and actually pay for my help, and you're seeing what they're getting. So yeah, it's like YouTube is like reading a book. You're learning, but you're not talking to the person who wrote the book, so you're not really able to answer questions and such. If you want me to help you at the level that I'm helping these shooters, you have to be a part of one of my systems. And Portfolio Lab is what you're watching, and this is how you join. All right, Victor Liska, who has not submitted in so long. Let's go, Victor. Very happy that you're back. Victor says, I shot this Land Rover Defender for Nomadic Scotland on my recent Scotland trip. Good to be back. Thank you for your valuable feedback, Carty and crew. You're very welcome, Victor. I'm very glad you're here. Shot with the DJI Mini 3 Pro, ISO 100 f 1.7 at a 400th of a second. This is Victor Liska. Victor, this is a strong capture. It's 2 pictures in one, but it's a strong capture. And you're also dropping this in the most exact center of this frame, Victor, which is so basic. I need you to try way harder as far as your compositions. We don't drop stuff right in the center like it's the first day we've ever held our camera. Like, we move it, we bias ourselves left or right or up or down. Here's another situation. This is 2 pictures. This up here is its own picture, this sky. Now, let me show you what this picture looks like when you cut the sky out and make the border of this picture right here. Now look at this photo. Now you see just the road and just the car, but you don't have something white. Anything that's white is going to take your eye away from your subject. The defender is also quite small in this frame, so I really have to look at it in order to know that it's a Land Rover Defender. So trying to include this bit, inside your photo, trying to include, sorry, let's take this off, go here. Trying to include this bit in your photo, you can see now you have this as a photo, you have this as a photo, and then you have your photo. Like, focus just on the road and these trees, and that's it. And this car. Trying to include what's happening back here and what's happening back here and what's happening in the sky just takes us out of what's going on here. The next thing is that this car is too small in frame. It's too small in frame, which means the drone is too high. Let's look at what this looks like. If the car was this big in the frame and this was now the frame, where you're not trying at all to show anything except for the road and the car. And then now let me show you something else where we actually drop the car lower in the frame. So you actually get leading line and you're wanting to know where he came from. And also the car is bigger in the frame and you can see the brand identity of it. The drone is too far. The shot is trying to include too many things when this is your frame. Tell me yes or yes, this isn't your frame. And now I'm going to show you the frame that you shot and you can see how much looser it is and how you're actually, yes, you are trying to include too many things. The client, Land Rover, is going to say, where's my truck? And you're going to say, it's right here. And the client's going to say, I can't fucking see it. So I can't use this picture. I need it to be bigger. So these are things that shooting with the drone, you can't shoot a drone and shoot a car and be 150 meters in the sky. Like, you have to get closer. You have to. And you can see how much of a difference it makes when you get closer. Like, look at how much more dynamic this picture is when you're able to see the car at the bottom of the frame. Look at all the room for the masthead that go across here. Look at the room for the copy, and the person's eye is going through it, and we can still see the car. So, Victor, more reps happen because now you're submitting again, but you can see like how quickly, when you're not submitting every week, how quickly you become out of practice and how quickly you think that like you got it. I got it. But then you show me, and then because you haven't submitted for months, well, now it's like you're starting over again a little bit, because when you're doing reps all the time, you see this scene, you look at it on your phone or on your remote because you're shooting with the drone, and then you're saying, okay, this is distracting. I have to get this part of the frame out, and this is too centered in the middle of the thing, so I have to bias it this way or this way, and I have to adjust my frame. Like, this is what makes it hard to shoot with the drone, because you think like everything that you get is going to be brilliant, but you really do have to, especially shooting with the drone, get closer to your subject, because these, like, your main subject this big in the frame is just not going to cut it. I hope this helps you, Victor. More reps, more submissions, more rinsing and repeating. It is a good swing, but would be so much better if it was cropped properly. I hope that helps you. That is Victor Liska. And again, I'm wanting you to see the things that I see in work that you're not even noticing. What would it be like if I looked at your photographs? What do you think? How many do you think I'm going to see stuff that you didn't see? 35 years as a pro photographer, 40 years of making photographs, and half of them I shot on film. Half, like age 14 to 34, I shot film, processed, printed, and then now from age 44 until 55 right now, it's been all digital. This is Donna Crenshaw. This is my minimalist photo for Tom Ford's white patchouli. Shot ISO 100 f32 at a 1/25th of a second, shot with a single strobe. This is Donna Crenshaw. Donna listens to me. And Donna, I feel, hit this out of the park. There's just a little bit down here, like this bit right down here, like I don't think that we need, like down here, because that's the, like, I would just end your frame right there. So it's just white. But Donna, other than that, I have nothing to say. Other than that, this is so good. This is so killer for somebody who hasn't submitted for a while. This is, oh, Donna, this brings me such joy. Such joy. I want you to look at this as a cover. This is a cover. I want you to look at the crop, meaning how far it is from here versus how far it is from here. You can see that you're not centered, which means you need to crop a little bit off of here and then off of the top in order to make it framed properly. But Donna, the light, this little kickback here, your light from here, the choice of product. And I mean, obviously, oops, sorry, you didn't see that. The choice of product, when I'm looking at this level, you can see in here that we need to do a little bit of cleaning, because, and for you, it means like when you look at the product, when you first shoot it, you have to inspect it to make sure that it doesn't have like these scratches, which makes it like this stuff is just really hard to take away, especially because it's on a gradient, meaning it's dark here and light here. So getting some of this stuff to match properly. You can also see you have the scratches through the actual words, which makes it really difficult to retouch that out. In this case, I know this may be a vintage bottle. It still passes for me, Donna. It still passes. I want you to know that the highlight on this, when you see here, it looks like it's going down, and then it looks like it's tilting in here. Like you can see that when you look at it like this, it looks like it goes down on this corner, and then it looks like it tilts in. That's all because of your highlight, where your highlight is. And also just because this bottle might be a bottle that's been kicking around for a while, so it's a little beat. Still, I think it's a fantastic photo. Still, I think it can go in your book. And I cannot wait for you to make more. And Miss Donna Crenshaw, Donna, I want you to connect with my other product photographer, and she really has a beautiful sensibility. I really want you to hang out with her. And yeah, I just feel like I think that you know what I mean. This is just really great product photography. Amazing. That's Donna Crenshaw. Donna, and it's Denise Tuggle that I want you to connect with, Donna. It's Denise Tuggle. And Denise, I want you to look at her first swing in a really long time. And I want you to look at how on point this is by not trying to be multiple things. It's just trying to be one thing, and it's done incredibly well. That is Donna Crenshaw. All right. This is Reginald Ross. This was shot for the street of Skid Row, the streets of Skid Row, epicenter of homelessness in Los Angeles. Okay. Reginald, you have to also think when it comes to your subject matter that your subject matter has to lift people up, not bring them down. Do you know what I mean? Like your subject matter has to lift people up, not bring them down. Because in me reading your description already, I'm like, this photo's going to bum me out. Like, and again, I know you're trying to shine light on situations, but you're also trying to make commerce. You're also trying to make money. And I got to tell you, like, would you rather look at a beautiful fashion model with like a beautiful outfit and great hair, makeup, or would you look at a guy who just got stabbed? You know what I mean? So like the more you lean towards the stuff that's harder to look at, the more people are going to just choose to not look at your photographs because they make them feel a certain way. Like, again, I want you to look at a photographer that might be an influence, and I want you to look at the type of subject matter that I show and know that I'm trying to be neutral, positive. Neutral, but positive. Neutral, but positive. Which is why there's not a single homeless person in my portfolio. Because guess what? Homeless people don't have money. And people who have money don't want to look at homeless people. Super simple. So if you're a photographer who's trying to get money and you got a portfolio of homeless people, people look and they're like, I don't want to deal with that right now. So you're trying to make commerce. This is art and commerce. So when you're choosing people who are underprivileged to shine your light on, it's great practice, but all it does is bum people out. And if you're trying to make a living at this, you need to not bum people out. You need to uplift them. Like have people in your photographs that look like the people who want to be photographed, not people who can never afford your photograph. And then when someone who makes $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year sees your portfolio as a guy for headshots, they say, this guy just shoots homeless people. What do I want to fuck with this guy for? He deals with poors. He deals with poors. I'm rich. I want to give my money to another guy who deals with people like me. So essentially, by shooting this, you're removing the ability for you to do work that is commerce. And again, very competent, capable portrait, but still, it bums me out because it's somebody who's like, again, you're not showing enough for me to know that he is homeless, but his beard needs to be trimmed. He's just wearing like whatever clothes. Maybe he's a veteran, which is amazing. But again, it's small business owners, people who have something going on. Shooting somebody just because they have a face is not a reason. You need to shoot everything with who would hire me to shoot this in mind. I'm going to ask you this question, Reginald. Who would hire you to shoot this photo? Who? If you can't instantly come up with 10 answers as to who would hire you to shoot this photo, then make the same photo with somebody who's not homeless. Make the same photo with a musician. Make the same photo with a cafe owner. Make the same photo with a hairstylist. Like somebody who needs the photo and is going to be up. Not somebody who looks like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. Because now, after me looking at this photo, which is well exposed, it's well shot, it's well composed, but it's the wrong subject matter. I can't say it any straighter than that. It's the wrong subject matter. And it doesn't and won't get you work. Because when people see this photo, they're not saying, I wish I was that guy. Because that's what people are saying when they look through your portfolio. They're saying, I wish I was that guy. Or I wish I was that guy. Because you're showing people who are not on their last legs. They're on their first legs. They're actually doing something and they need the photograph to move their needle forward. If you're shooting photos that A, are just feeding your ego or feeding the ego of the person that you asked to take a photo, there's no point. There's no point. If the person who you're taking a photo with or photo of isn't using that photo in their social media engine in order to move their stuff forward, tagging you, crediting you, and you're leveraging, like, it just ends up meaning like you're spending the time, you're honoring the man, you're talking to him, but then after, all you're doing is like patting yourself on the back because you took a picture of a homeless guy, but it doesn't change your bottom line at all. At all. At all. So shifting again, I talk so often about this, like for the last 2 weekends on my podcast, I've been talking about like how important it is to find the right subjects to be in your portfolio, like the right subjects, not anybody who says yes, but the right subjects for your portfolio gets you more of the right subjects who will pay you to make these types of images. Shooting homeless people, if you're trying to be more than a hobbyist, that shouldn't be a thing. Just saying. It shouldn't be a thing because it does not move your needle forward. Because it's not desirable and it's repelling. You don't put out repelling content. Seeing a homeless person in your portfolio makes me stop looking at your portfolio. Why would you do that? I hope that is super, super, super clear. Reginald, great image, wrong subject matter. I hope that helps you. Spend less time in this area making these kinds of photos. Spend less time because that time you're spending there doesn't equal money. There's no businesses there. There's no small businesses that are going to pay you for making that work. Spend zero time doing that at all. Zero. Again, this is the difference between, this is what I teach in ProLab, like how to build a business. So every photo that you're making, there's a means to an end. Like it's for something. You're not shooting just to shoot, which so many photographers shoot just to shoot. And cool, but that's also why 86% of photographers fail when they say that they want to go pro. They fail within their first 2 years. So I know my live stream is super contrasty. Baby Venom, I'm having an issue with OBS. I'm trying to figure it out. When I figure it out, my stream will not be contrasty. But right now it is. I apologize. There's nothing that I can do. Or I would have fixed it already. All right. This is Israel Cordona III. Israel, here's my assignment. Shot with the Canon R6 Mark III, with a 50 millimeter 1.8, ISO 100, f6.9 at a 60th. No, sorry. 1/200th of a second. Sorry, I have a brain injury. This is Israel Cordona III. Israel, shooting photos of your wife again. My friend, we had this conversation. I'm going to say a fourth time. We had this conversation about you taking pictures of your wife. And when you use your wife as your only subject, or the subject that you shoot 80% of the time, you can't expect those photos to go in your portfolio. Therefore, you have no photo portfolio. You have a portfolio of photos of your wife, which makes you look amazing to your wife, but it doesn't show you as far as how you can bring value to people who you aren't married to. So, Israel, I said the last time that you submitted a photo of your wife, I said, I'm not reviewing any more photos of your wife because they can't go in your portfolio and it does not move your needle forward. I said that. I said, if you keep shooting photos of your wife, what's going to happen eventually is like, you're not going to have a portfolio. You're just wasting time. So I'm trying to be hyper specific. This is another photo of your wife. Appreciate it that it's in the studio, but what ends up happening is I'm critiquing the way that your wife is posing, and now you and her are both watching it together, and it's just, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because I've talked about how having a whole portfolio of your son, your daughter, your grandpa, your wife, your husband, just because they're close does not mean that that should be the person that you reach to shoot every time you shoot. You're staying in your comfort zone. You're staying in your comfort zone. You're staying in your comfort zone, which is killing you. Okay? I'm not going to review this photo today, Israel, because I said I was not reviewing any more photos of your wife. So I need you to care enough to find subjects that aren't this fine woman, because you're hurting yourself. Let me show you something. How many pictures of my girlfriend do you see in my portfolio? How many? Zero. Because just because she's a beautiful girl and I could photograph her all the time, that is the easy route. And I cannot have more than one single photo of her in my portfolio. No more than one. So why would I waste time taking photos of her if I can't use those photos? So Israel, I've said it and I'm holding to it. I said, if you submit another photo of your wife, I can't review it because you can't use it. You can't use it. And guess what you did? You submitted another photo of your wife, which means either you're not listening or you're not taking this seriously. I know that you're taking this seriously, but I don't think that you're registering when I say I'm not reviewing another photo of your wife, because you've sent me 15 of them now. 15 photos of your wife. How many of those are going in your portfolio? One. Israel, I can't review this photo. Thanks for submitting. All right. Our next photographer. And Israel, next time my team will just nix it and it won't even get to this point. You'll be realizing that you're submitting photos and I'm not reviewing them. And it's because you're submitting photos of your wife and you're not actually listening to my reviews, which is hurtful. All right, I'm going to see if I can do something with this camera. Give me 2 seconds here. I can do this. Go back to here. And look, the contrast is gone. And then it's back. You see? So I'm dealing with this issue of this contrast, like going and then coming and then going and then like I'm trying my best to make it so the camera doesn't keep, but believe you me, like I'm trying to figure it out. And anything that you see with this stream, I see it already. I see it already. I've been doing this for 5 years. I see it already. Like I monitor my camera. I monitor, like there's a glitch. I see it. I have my team also watching. So I appreciate you, Baby Venom. Just know that I also get pissed off if you now, hey, do you know that your camera is, it's like, yes, I see it. It's right here. Then I just get irritated and then I spiral. All right, let's look at Nakumba Booker Jr. Shot with a Canon M50 with a 24-70. This is Nakumba Booker. Nakumba, thanks for submitting. So light is the issue here. You're not lighting her face. You're lighting her chesticles. You're lighting here. You're not lighting here, which is why the exposure here is higher than the exposure here. You're lighting her chesticles instead of lighting her face. And also I can see that you're underlighting, which is meaning your light is coming this way, low up, which is not really a light that we do. And then your post-production. Let's look at this. Not sure what's happening here, Nakumba, but you gotta know, if you're doing this hack shit, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. Say it 4 times. I'm going to see this hack shit that you're doing to your photography. I'm gonna catch it. You have to be better in post-production than this. You have to be better in post-production than this. You have to be better than this. Like, you have to be better, because if you're not, the photographers who are better are going to smash you. What you're doing here with trying to clean up the hair, for you to think that I'm not gonna see this is fucking preposterous, bro. That's brutal. And again, we don't let work out that looks like this. Thinking that you can shoot someone who has wicked flyaways and that you can just cut them out against white and that's gonna look swell. Nakumba, no, bro. No. This ends up just looking whack because of this, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, what the fuck? So I'm sorry to be so frustrated, but you have to know, like, this is professional photography. Professional. We don't get to make mistakes like this, Nakumba. Like, what is that? What is this? So this, for me, we don't light from below going up. Never. Open a Vogue and find me under lighting, where the shadow's on the top of the nose and on the, like, it's just, you're doing things that you want to do with no references. You're not holding a book and saying, do this pose exactly. And you're not looking at lighting and doing that lighting exactly. And what you're doing in post-production, thinking that you can close crop flyaways on a black girl with African hair. You can't do that, Star. Okay? So this is a no-go and had the potential, but again, this picture is all tits. Like, I understand she likes her tits. Maybe you like her tits, but the whole point is that the whole photograph can't be that. it's low frequency. It's low frequency. And it just, with this, plus the way that you lit it, plus what you're doing with the post-production, all of that together makes this a shit show and makes it something that you should never, you got to do better for your clients. You got to say, when she wants to be tits out, you're like, hey, maybe we zip that, because it's kind of like, what message are you trying to give? Like, again, it's all in the message. So what's the message from this? What's the message from this photo? What does it say about you as a photographer? To me, what it says is you like tits. And your message has to be bigger and stronger and more respectful than that. For me, Nakumba, this is no. And you need to know it's a no. And you need to know it's a no before I see it. This, like, Nakumba, come on. You're better. You're better. And this is why I'm frustrated, because you're better than that. You're better. You need to prove to me and yourself that you're better than what you just gave me here. This is a no bueno. That is Nakumba Booker Jr. This is Natalie Bennett, shot with the Canon R6 Mark II, 100 millimeter, different lens this time. Let's go. ISO 160, f4.5 at a 200th of a second with a single strobe. This is Natalie Bennett. Natalie, let's have a look. Natalie, this is one of your better. This is one of your better. Like, I really like this. I want you to notice how you're not centered. Like, this girl is biased that way. Her belly is biased that way. You got tons of space back here. So she's not, like, you just need to move. Again, this little, like, you can just control a lot more than you're controlling. And the framing, because look at how this side, you have all of this space before the end of these, whatever the fuck these are. This, you're now cutting this all off. And you're cutting close here. So step back and frame this so this light thingy that you have in the background is actually centered and doesn't look like an afterthought. It looks intentional. Like, again, good idea, better than you've done in the last little bit, but still, you could have made this so much better if you just slowed down and checked your framing. Again, I shoot 100 frames. Oops, that should be an R. 100 frames for one image. And I'm a 35-year pro. Are you shooting 100 frames for one image? Probably not. Which is why your images are almost there, but not quite. Because you stopped before you noticed the major thing in your image that could have made your picture better. Before you noticed it, you stopped. So for me, this is well done. I'm giving you an 11 because I'm judging you against yourself, but I'm also showing you that there is instances of sloppiness that are unnecessary. Like, you can try just a little bit harder. You can slow down just a little bit. You can take one step this way. You can turn the camera this way a bit and frame her properly in here and frame her properly within the starburst and make it so the shadows on her face are as flattering as possible. Those are all suggestions. Still, I'm giving you an 11. I do need to see the skin and what you're doing in post-production. Hopefully, you're still doing shit in post-production to the skin, Natalie. I've talked about this with you. By the way, everybody who's watching, please chime in. How many times have I asked Natalie to learn how to do post-production? How many times have I asked Natalie to not use the blur tool? How many times do you think? I'm going on right now 10 times, 15 times. I've asked you to not use AI to fix skin, to not use the blur tool to fix skin. But yet when I zoom in on the skin and I see what her skin actually looks like, and then I see this huge area of just blur, I'm going to see it, which means clients who have money to pay you will also see it, unless you're working for clients who don't give a shit. And if that's the case, like, I'm not a good coach for you because I give a shit. And I'm going to point out this stuff. The post-production on the face, the blur on the hairline is unacceptable. Like all of this blur hasn't been a thing in Photoshop in 15 years. Blur has not been a thing in Photoshop in 15 years. You look at my photos, you'll notice no blur. You'll notice no blur. So why are you doing blur? Well, because I don't know how to do post-production. Well, learn how to do post-production so you don't have to use blur. So you can get images that look like this without using the blur tool. Like this for me is like, again, so close, but because you care so low when it comes to post-production, and my opinion as far as your post-production, you just do whatever you want. So I get frustrated because I'm going to tell you again, learn how to do post-production, stop using the blur tool, and stop blurring skin. It like just, you can't do it. It is so obvious in 2025. So obvious. And anybody who has any wherewithal for photography knows that this is not good photography. So the more you do it, you're just establishing yourself as a photographer who doesn't know. So please stop doing blur tool, please. Hey, Kick Back with G just became a member. Kicking Back with G, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Carty crew. Here's my team dancing for you. Here's the smoke for you. Glad you're here. Welcome. The hard thing is that people don't have a feedback loop. And it's hard to hear critiques about the work that you have such emotional attachment to, which you should have none. Literally, if you had a worker working for you and that worker was producing zero money and doing nothing all day, would you keep them or would you fire them? Would you keep them or would you fire them? And then you had 3 workers, 4 workers, 5 workers, 6 workers, and all of those workers, they're there, but they're not doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for you. Would you fire them and bring in people who do work for you? It's the same thing about your portfolio. If pictures aren't working for you, then they come out of your portfolio. Here's the bad thing. When you don't know photography, which is like, I don't know my business and I'm not there, so I actually don't know whether those people that I hire are working for me or not. Well, that's the kind of position that I see often, which it's like people aren't doing enough research to see whether what they're doing is cutting edge or 25 years ago. Do you understand how many photographers I see on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that are doing shit from 25 years ago? The last time they learned something, 25 years ago. So they're lighting from 25 years ago, they're shooting from 25 years ago, they're posing from 20, like everything is 25 years ago. So if you're not looking at major magazines right now, meaning December 2025, then you're holding on to your last memories of what you thought cool photography was, what you thought cool retouching was. And guess what? It's fucking dated. So sorry to say, this is a no bueno. It went from amazing to now I'm pissed off because you're continually not listening to me. Welcome, Pretoria. I just came back from Cape Town. I was there in August. Greetings, my South African family. I have so many people from South Africa who watch me. So you know, my kids are half South African. My ex, straight out of Cape Town. So yes, my kids are half South African. All right, let's look at our next shooter. This is Mr. Kyle Kiono. Shot this with a Sony A7R5 50mm ISO 500 f4 at a 50th of a second. This is Kyle Kiono. Kyle, this is a better pose for me, better pose, but again, there's still something about his smile where he's unsure. When you look at this smile up close, it looks like he's holding it. And what happens after you hold a smile too long? It no longer looks natural. It looks kind of scary. And he's in that phase. He's in that face and phase where his smile looks unsure and he looks a little scared. That's just because you let him hold the smile too long. And you didn't say, okay, shake it out, go like this. Okay, look away, walk off set, blah, 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 have a drink of water, come back on. And then you're like, all right, pretend my pants are off. And then the guy's like, dude, like, you're going to get an authentic reaction if you say, okay, take your shirt off. They're going to be like, dude, what? Like, boom, that's your picture. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. I don't want you to take your shirt off. But I needed to prompt you to get you into a mode so the smile that I got from you is actually real. And for me, I can do a real smile on camera because I think of something that makes me smile, like my children or my fiance or making photography. Like, I think of something and it makes me, I can smile and it's real. But then if I hold that, it starts to get weird. So then I have to shake it out and then be like, okay, we're smiling again. You know, like this guy didn't get the moment to shake it out. So because of that, you can see muscles that are pulling here and you can see he's holding. So learning how to shoot a natural smile is a superpower as a photographer. It's a superpower. But I promise you, not learning how to shoot a smile as a photographer means that you get images like this and images like the last one that you submitted, which was also this person in an in-between uncomfortable moment. So close, Kyle. Better frame, better composition, better crop, better tone on tone, better everything, Kyle. From your last submission, this is better everything, but it's still missing the most important element, which is a natural, authentic, genuine smile. And you need to be able to, like, anytime you train a camera on somebody, you can pull that and shoot that of any face, anytime, anywhere. Like, I can do that. I can get a natural smile from anybody, even people who don't smile. I can get a natural smile from them. So you need to make that higher on your priority list, because if not, people aren't going to be able to smile in your photos, because if you can't cue them as to when they look fake, they don't know they look fake. So now it's two people going into a situation where you don't know how to guide him into doing a natural smile, and he doesn't know how to do a natural smile without looking fake. So you get what you get. And I don't want any photographer in a situation where you get what you get because you don't know how to use your voice and you don't know how to direct somebody into getting what you want. You have to direct them. You don't just let people go and they give you the hits. You have to direct them. And if you're not sure how to direct people, go to my Making Photos playlist. Look at any of the photos that you see me with my camera, or a picture of a model's face and it's Carty in the studio. Like, watch how I direct people. Watch how I lift them up, shoot. Watch how I make them somber, shoot. Watch how I reset them, how I let them leave set, come back, and like, just watch how that happens and do that when you're shooting, because we're missing the most important element on this shot, which is that supernatural smile. But Kyle, still, I'm giving you an 11 because of how much of a jump this is from last week's photo. From the same session. Quite a jump. Well done. Emmond, thank you for the clips, calligraphy. Everybody else who's making clips, thank you. All right, that's Kyle Kiono. Let's get it on.
Being on camera or speaking in front of people makes you nervous. This challenge is for you. It's called the 30-Day On-Camera Challenge, and I designed it to help you show up with confidence, whether you're recording a video, giving a presentation, or leading a meeting in real life. Every day via email, you're going to get a clear, simple prompt that helps you get more comfortable speaking out loud while building real communication skills that you can use anywhere. Now, I promise you, this isn't just for YouTubers or content creators. It's for anyone that wants to show up more clearly, communicate with confidence, and leave a lasting impression in person or on camera. If you're ready to feel more in control, express yourself with confidence, and learn how to present in a way that feels true to you, start your 30-Day On-Camera Challenge today. All you need to do is go to thecartymethod.com/tools and pick up my 30-Day On-Camera Challenge. Let's get to work.
All right, Mr. Malik Brand. Malik said, I didn't want to miss a submission this week. I want to reshoot this music artist rapper again at a later date. Shot this with a Sony a7 III with a 50mm 1.4 ISO 100 f9 at 1/25 of a second. Shot with a single newer strobe. This is Malik Brand. Malik, thanks for submitting. So Malik, again, I'm not sure about the subject matter. I'm not sure what this is for, who this is for, if this is a client. I want you to look at where her arm is going and where is the rest of her arm. Like having, again, a girl who's a thicker girl sitting in jeans, you're really setting yourself up for hard photography. She's sitting in jeans and then she's covering her body this way. You're cutting her boot. The boot could be a product. She's wearing again, a sleeveless fur, but then she's short sleeves. Like the styling is off. The hair is tied back, which for girls, unless they're a supermodel, the super tied back is really hard to pull off in a photo. And it also hair molds the face. Hey, is that Oki? No way. Oki, you definitely have your Chautauqua. You notice your new icon, Oki. Let's go, 28 months. This is, again, an incredible supporter that's been here with me on YouTube, since before I monetized this channel, when I was really just getting this going. Oki has gifted and donated so many memberships to this channel that it's absolutely insane. Oki, I miss you, my guy, and definitely OG status. Oki, you've inspired generosity on this channel so much, and you've been such a source of generosity that just because you became a member right now, I'm going to gift 5 memberships randomly to people who are watching right now. Just because, hey, look, that's me. Just because I appreciate what you do for this channel. So a bunch of you just got gifted memberships. Your names will pop up right here. Okay, so Malik, this image, there's some things that from my perspective are off. The first thing is what she's wearing. The boots, the jeans, and this rabbit jacket cut off at the shoulder, the hair pushed back, the styling is off. And again, who is this styled for? I need to know, who is this styled for? If it's just for her, well, then now you're shooting for egos, which we've talked about, right? Like, again, we just talked about this. Shooting to fill an ego. Is she a small business owner? Is she using this for her business? Probably not, or she wouldn't be dressed like this. Is she using this for her Instagram? Probably. So again, like for me, this type of subject matter, where does it go? And how does this make you money? Beyond the $200 that you got for taking pictures of this girl. Like, Malik, this is, again, not the right subject. I thought I had you on track with shooting small business owners, which you did. You went to a gym, you shot a gym owner, and now we're back to this. Am I to reward you for not staying the course? Like, again, for me, the styling, I have an issue. This is not modern clothes. This is stuff that you go and you buy at the mall that she's just had in her closet and she fancies is great. For me, it's not good enough in the styling. The light is okay, but I'm so distracted by the body language, her arm being cut off here, and like she's wearing fur, but she's naked underneath. Like, there's so many things that are contradictory that, like, I just don't get it. Composition wise, you know how to shoot a cover, you know how to compose for a cover, you know how to compose for an 8x10, but you're still missing huge mistakes. Like, we don't let hands go out of frames like that. Like, in this situation where you have a hand here, like, if I turn this way, I don't reach my hand so it's out of the frame. I bring my hand so it's in the frame. Like, that's what we're trying to do. And again, like, seating somebody is a really difficult thing to do. Seating somebody in the studio on the ground when they're a little thick, like, it's just not flattering. It's just not flattering. And then the clothing is also not flattering. So then how do you expect to get greatness out of not the right subject, not the right outfit, not the right pose? So for me, this is a no, Malik. And again, you saying I'm going to shoot this again at a different time. Why? Why? For who? For what? Why? Unless this girl has unless she now starts a business and you're going to shoot her as a small business owner, I don't see how this fits and how this would get you work. I just don't see it. So, ask yourself, who would hire me to make this photo? And what is it for? Where does this styling fit within LinkedIn, Instagram? Like, again, Malik, you don't look at Vogue. You don't look at references, and you shoot ideas from here instead of from references. I've talked about this with you for a year. So at this point, do I keep telling you until you shoot from references, your photos are going to be below where they could be? Because every week you do the same thing. So again, I'm happy to be here to continue to review your photos, but know that, like, I see when you miss. You also need to see when you miss, and then see when the whole shoot scenario is a miss, and then start avoiding saying yes to photo shoots that don't move your needle forward. Say yes to shoots that do move your needle forward, and no to shoots that don't. This shoot did not move your needle forward. In fact, it moved it backwards. Because you were told something, you did it once, and then you didn't do it again. So I'm pissed. That is Malik Brand. Again, pissed. Not really. Like, it doesn't affect me because I know what I'm doing, and I know how to make work that gets work. Like, I know all of that stuff, but you're in my program and you ask me great questions and I give you great answers. And we've talked through this already. So your going backwards. It's not me. You're going backwards, meaning you're not listening. Go back and watch some of my old reviews and see how many things from my old reviews I actually said in this one. If I'm saying the same thing more than once, it means that you're not clicking. All right. That is Malik Brand. We are going into our last. So I'm now hearing that the photo from Israel Cordona III is not his wife. So Israel, you can understand how I could think that this photo is your wife because it looks exactly like her. Is it her sister? Maybe. Like, I understand if it's not her wife, your wife, but put them side by side. How about that? And if it's a relative of your wife, it's like you're doing the same thing. You're just circling around easy, low-hanging fruit people to photograph to put in your portfolio. And that's what I'm telling you not to do. So if you're saying that that is not Israel and you made a mistake, it's not Reginald Ross, because Reginald I was talking about other things with. It's not Reginald Calligraphy. I was talking about other things. It's Israel. Again, if it looks like a spitting image of your wife and I think that it's her, then the people who look at it in your portfolio are also going to think that it's her. So it's going to just look like multiple pictures of the same people, the same person. Reginald Ross, I'm going to say again, it is not Reginald, because Reginald shot the picture of the homeless gentleman calligraphy, not that shot. Okay, sorry, just talking to my team. Let's go on. We have our next photo is from, let's move this all the way over here. Our next photo is from Joshua Haney. Joshua shot this with a Canon R6 50mm 2.0 ISO 200 f8 at 1/25 of a second with a single newer strobe. This is Joshua Haney. Joshua. So this is a tricky picture to make because it's like he's a podcaster. You got the Shure SM7B. You got the fat, oversized headphones, the backwards hat, the hoodie. Like, it's very ornamented. And again, you're trying to show that he's a podcaster. You're shooting him in California. This is his set. Like, yes, but again, the goal this week was to shoot a magazine cover, and magazine covers like are rarely like headphones, microphone, hat, hoodie. Like, there's too many ornamentation things on him. Backward hat, it just takes him into backwards hat, bro. Like, when you're making professional photography and you see a guy who's wearing a hat, like, you're like, do you mind taking your hat off? Because just in taking the hat off elevates the situation. And then the next thing is like, hey, now that we got the hat off, can we take the headphones off? And then now that the headphones are off and the hat's off, then you say, do you mind if we just slide the microphone out of the way? And then you have a portrait of this guy in nice light against this background. But he wants the world to know that he's a podcaster. And the world can't possibly know that he's a podcaster unless he's got the Shure SM7B on a stand and fat headphones and backwards hat and the brand of his, like, his t-shirt that is Dadwood, which is probably his brand. So for me, this feels snapshotty because you could have shot this on an iPhone, but you shot it on your pro camera, which means if you're shooting it on your pro camera, you need to remove the props So it looks like a portrait, not like a behind the scenes photo. And then this smile, although natural, is over the top for him being in front of a microphone. Like when someone's in front of a microphone, they're talking, they're talking, they're gesturing, but me standing in front of my microphone and going, well, then now that ends up being cheesy. So for me, Joshua, this is the smile is extra. The headphones are extra. The microphone is extra. The strings coming down from here, like secrets. I hide the strings, like I tuck them, because when they come down, they come over my brand. So I tuck my strings. And if I'm taking a photograph of somebody, like of course I'm tucking these strings so they're not pushing this huge thing underneath your thing. And then also with the shadow and the blah, 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 like you just tuck them. So again, Joshua, it's a good swing. I feel like this picture is I don't know what it's for. Who would hire you to shoot them in full podcasting gear this way, but then shoot a portrait of it? Again, he doesn't need to have the headphones and the like, he doesn't need to have it for him to also be a podcaster. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like my YouTube thumbnail and you seeing me holding a camera. I have big headphones on. I got my microphone. Like I'm trying to include all of that in a thumbnail. It's like, no, he's just me with my camera. Assume that if I'm on YouTube, I'm going to have a microphone. I'm going to have headphones. But I don't need to include that in my media promoting my podcast. So for me, Joshua, this is close. The light's nice. The background's nice. But I also want you to know, like, this line back here and this line back here is making it like it's two different photos. Like him in this outfit, I would shoot him against a dark background. So you have dark, if you must use the mic and the headphones, it's dark on dark on dark. And you're not, oh, look at that pretty scene outside. Like this, to me, the background makes it feel snapshotty. So for me, overall, I know your work. You shoot better than this. And I don't think that this is like a portfolio image, because you make images that are up here. And I feel like this one down, it's just like he controlled too much. I'm wearing my headphones. Let me talk in front of my mic. Let me stand in front of this one. It's like he controlled, it seems, too much of the stuff. And you just honored him with giving him what he wanted. But guess what? That doesn't need to go in your portfolio. And I don't think that this one should. I hope that helps you. All right. I think we are on to our last photo of the day. The last photo of the day. No, we got, no. We have 3 more photos. I thought we were down to our last. We got 3. This is Denise Tuggle. Denise shot this with a Nikon D850 with a 24-75 ISO 100 f8 at a 30th of a second, shot with a single strobe on a softbox. I need a drink. That right now is where I like start to get like. By the way, if you want me to look at your photos, just go to Portfolio Lab. Go to thecartymethod.com/Portfolio Lab, and I'll look at your photos. I feel like I could drink 3 of those. All right, Denise Tuggle. Let's see what Denise has got for us. Denise, you leveled up this week. This picture could have been taken just on this without the wooden cutout. I would have preferred it without the wooden cutout, because if you look at Ordinary and if you look at their advertising, they don't use cutouts like that. They don't use it. You need to do what the brand does, not do what you think the brand should do. You need to do what the brand is doing already. So we look at ordinary. We look at ordinary, and it's The Ordinary is the website. And Denise, notice that they don't stack their product on something else. They do it just on the background. So why did you stack your product on a wood cutting board? The colors match pretty, but that's not what the brand does. So why would you do something that the brand doesn't do? Brand doesn't do it, you don't do it. Like, I want you to look at all the different instances of how they use their products. So when you're looking at skincare and you're looking at aging serums, you see every one of their photos they shoot just on a clean background. So if that's what every one of their products looks like, and there's not a single instance where it's stacked on something, then you don't do that. You're trying to learn how to shoot industry standard work. In fact, if you shot this not on this platform, this would have been an 11, a photo of the week, a best in show, so quickly that I'd already be reviewing the next photo. But I need to, number one, you got something right. You're photographing top down, and I've been asking you to shoot top down for weeks. So finally, the right background and top down. But you've also heard me say this over and over. Intelligent imitation. Intelligent imitation. We intelligently imitate what the brands that we're trying to work for, we intelligently imitate what they're doing. So if this is what this brand is doing, and if we look at The Ordinary, and we look at this on the internet, and then just say images, look at how, this is user generated. So it's going to be garbage. This, a professional photographer shot. Notice the professional photographers aren't dropping their product on top of a cutting board. It's just on the thing. So you need to use intelligent imitation to see what The Ordinary does, to see what they do, so you know what to do. Here's one instance where there's some makeup spludges. Here's another instance where there's and again, this is done poorly because this is a close crop. You can see there's no shadow. Sorry. You can see there's no shadow here. So this is really a shot top down of this, and they just added The Ordinary in after. You can see this, which is shot that way. You can see this, which is shot that way. But again, this idea is very different than this idea. You can't shoot without references. And if you're shooting for a brand, if you're trying to be the best product photographer the world has ever seen, you can't do that without looking clearly at what the brands that you're shooting or trying to shoot for, what they do publicly. Without looking at what they do publicly, then you do something like this. And again, it's so close, but it's off brand. And when you send this to the brand director of The Ordinary, they're like, cool photo, girl, but we don't use wood in any of our images. So thank you, but you didn't look at our shit. That's exactly what the client's going to say. You didn't look at our shit. So you made something that was close, but it's off brand. And if you did look at their stuff, where did your cutting board come in? Like, where did that idea come from when there's no cutting boards in any of the stuff that you're looking at? So intelligent imitation, closer. Because again, Denise, I'm giving you an 11 for the top down, but you need to reshoot this immediately and send it to me next week without the literally the hockey puck piece of wood on top of it. Like, without that, please, please, please. Same photo without the hockey puck. Okay. Thank you so much for submitting. Again, Denise, like, you're this close, but it's like you're painting a picture based on another picture. And then you decide this picture doesn't have wood in it, but you decide last minute, I'm going to draw wood in mine. And you're trying to do a match this photo contest. Like, you're going to lose because there's no wood in your reference photo. So stay the course, but stick to the references and really look at what brands are doing and stop pulling ideas from your head. Only pull ideas that have been proven that you're seeing in magazines. Okay. I hope that helps you. Denise, again, giving you an 11 on this because this is a very competent top down with amazing light. Amazing light. The light is great on this, Denise, which is why I'm so frustrated that you shot this on top of wood. So frustrated. Because if you didn't, as I said at the beginning of this would have been an 11 out of 10. This would have been a photo of the week. This would have been a best in show so fast that, like, I would be on to the next photo already. But you missed something critical. And I hope I made it drastically clear how you don't get to just throw elements in your photo because you think that it looks cool. If there's no reference where anyone else is doing that publicly, commercially, it doesn't work. Okay. I'm not trying to discourage you, Denise, because again, I'm giving you an 11, but I am trying to shake you up a bit because again, like, you ran literally 58 miles out of 60, like you ran 28 or 20, how big is a marathon? A marathon is 26 miles. So imagine you ran 25 miles. And then in the last mile, you did something that killed the whole race. Like, that's what I'm trying to get you to avoid. Is like, you do tons of research, you get the right products, you get the backgrounds, you have the light, blah, blah, blah. But it's like in the final hour, when you're making the work is usually when you make the mistakes. And you know the references, but then you allow yourself to go off the rails. And that's what I'm trying to correct. And I've tried it several different ways. Again, know this. Denise is somebody who came to me saying, like, she wanted to be a professional photographer and make a full-time living from her camera. But at the same point, she had really not shot before. She didn't know. It's like her saying, I want to be a Formula One driver, but I don't have my license. Can you help me get there? Like, I was like, girl, do you understand how hard this? And she's like, yeah, I understand how hard it's going to be, but I'm going to do it. And she, like, seeing how far Denise has come in the last like year and a half is preposterous. It's insane to see how good she is from someone who just picked up a camera a year and a half ago. Okay. But because she's so good and she's part of my system, I'm trying to help her get to her finish line faster. That's all. That is Denise Tuggle. Thanks, Denise. This is Angela Pacino, our second last shot. Shot this with a Fuji X-T4, 56 millimeter 1.2, ISO 150, f3.2 at 1/25th of a second. It was ISO 125, by the way. Shot with 2 Profoto heads. This is Angela Pacino. Angela, this is close. It's just a little under. This is under by half a stop. So I just need a little bit more exposure because this is what we call muddy. This is what we call muddy. This just feels kind of muddy. It's flat. There's no real contrast. It doesn't have like a pop. Look at my skin. I'm a black guy. Look at that guy's skin. He's a white guy and his skin is reading darker than mine. So it's underexposed. It's just under. That's all. Composition wise, you shot it as a cover. There's a little bit extra headroom that you can kind of move him up. And then black pants, black background. Where are his pants? Where are his pants? Well, his pants are blending into the background because there's no highlight back here giving you a separation as to where the pants are, which means if he's wearing dark pants, you can't shoot him against a dark background. You got to shoot him against something that contrasts that background. And if you're set on shooting to the dark background, then he has to change his pants, or you have to crop him in such a way that is more flattering. The shirt also, I know that it's his shirt and he probably loves it, but this sweater is dated and it's just dated. You can see that it's dated. You can see how many times it's been run through the wash because it's starting to like get pulls on all of just the shirt is not really great. It looks like Angora, which is kind of femme, like he's a handsome man. Do you know what I mean? So for me, like we kind of got to masculine him up a bit. And it's definitely not this sweater. So for me, the sweater is not right. The pants are not right. I don't mind like how he's holding his body. But again, because we have these highlights down here, but we don't see his legs, it's just like, it just looks weird below his hands. It just looks weird. So for me, the outfit choice, the background choice, and the exposure, this could have been saved if this picture was tight like that. Therefore, like his sweater wouldn't be as noticeable or bothersome. And also you're cutting the pants out, so his legs floating isn't a factor either. Again, I know you don't agree or don't have to agree with every one of my reviews, Angela, but I feel like there's a couple of things here clearly that you could have done to like elevate this. I see where your second light is, which is down here, giving me a little highlight here on the sweater and very little highlight here on this edge. But that light could be up here and pushing here, or that light could be up here and pushing here. But it needs to be brighter than this because this looks like the exposure is the same. Meaning if your main light, the light that's coming in here is at f8, this light that's coming in here looks like it's also at f8. So 8 feet is what it says. It looks like it's also at f8 because it's barely showing brighter. It's just the same reading. If you want this to show as a highlight, then this has to be at f16, or it has to be at f10, or it has to be at like it just has to be at an f that's above f8, so it shows as a highlight. F16 would be too high. But for me, Angela, this is close, but last week you rocked it stronger. You had a better background. He's standing. Again, whenever you shoot a subject sitting, it's usually bad. It's usually bad. I'll say it a third time. It's usually bad when you shoot a subject sitting in the studio. Like, he's a man. He needs to stand up. He needs to have like swag on. And again, this Angora sweater is never something that I would have somebody wearing in the studio because the sweater is all he has. His sweater dominates the entire frame, and it's like I'm itchy just looking at it. So for me, like, yeah, the sweater for me kills this picture. The styling kind of kills this picture, and it could have been a lot stronger if you just focused on his head or told him, like, again, when I shoot a subject, by the way, thank you for submitting, Angela. When I shoot a subject, they submit their clothes to me before I get, like, I don't see the clothes on the for the first time on set. It's like, no, show me the clothes that you're thinking about bringing. And they pull up this and I'm like, absolutely not. They pull up that. I'm like, hell no. They pull up that and I'm like, that goes in the maybe pile. Let's see some button downs. Do you have a crew shirt? Do you have just a black t-shirt? Like you start, and then they're like, how's this? And you're like, that looks like you've washed it 7,800 times. Can you go to the store and buy a $7 new t-shirt so we can have that for the photo shoot? T-shirts are $7 from H&M, but yet you're holding onto a t-shirt from the 80s, like, and then you think that you can wear that in a photo shoot and that it's not going to look bad. It's going to look bad. Anytime you're wearing old clothes in photos, it's going to look bad. And this is a situation where he needs a sweater shaver, which would definitely shave some of this fuzz off the sweater and make it so the white isn't leaking over the black everywhere. Look, his sweater shaver. Look, he's got fur all over because this sweater is 19 years old and he's still wearing it because that's what men do, except for me. So for me, you got killed by the styling here, Angela. I hope I'm not being too extra, but I can't stress enough how important styling is. If they miss style, if they miss personal style, then you've missed personal style because you shot it. And then now you're showing it and then you're saying, I don't know personal style. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to be the one that carries the personal style anchor. You can never rely on your clients because they don't have a fucking clue, just to be clear. They don't have a clue. Usually your clients have no idea how to dress cool. They don't know. And if you don't know how to dress them cool or how to advise them how to be, then you need a stylist, or you need to buy Vogue, Men's Vogue, you need to buy GQ, you need to buy Details and start looking through and being like, hey, and again, you're going to find this often, which is again why early on in my career, I started working with stylists in my first year because they bring clothes that the model can't afford, that you can't even concept. And my first test had a stylist and a makeup artist. My first test for a model ever went into Elle magazine because I shot a designer's dress. His name was David Dixon, fresh new designer. He's been around for 35 years now in Toronto because he's been around as long as I have. Fresh new designer in Toronto, David Dixon. Stylist brought a David Dixon dress to my shoot. I shot the David Dixon dress. Elle magazine wanted to do a profile on David Dixon, and I had a photo of his latest dress. They published my picture, full page, on the back page, talking about David Dixon, and of course, photo by Steve Carty. So my first test went into Elle just because I understood styling. I didn't understand styling, but I brought in people who did. Nowadays, with digital photography, everything is just good enough, good enough, good enough, good enough. And because people are in the good enough mindset, so many photographers fail because good enough is not good enough. It's not. It might be for some, but those are clients that are paying you $100 a shoot, not clients who are paying you $100,000 a shoot. It's totally different ball games. It's why stylists exist, to dress people who don't know how to dress themselves. All right, let's get into our last photo of the day. And that is from Laura Minero. Laura says, Travis is a founder of a local nonprofit recovery center. Amazing, Laura. Laura shoots with the Sony A7 IV with an 85 millimeter. She shot this at ISO 800 f2.8 at 1/80th of a second. Shot natural light, open shade. This is Miss Laura Minero. Laura, Laura, this is so close. This is so close. Like, great exposure on him, great light on him, facial expression. But then the V-neck with the no shirt on, and the like he's a little overstyled and also not centered. You're trying to include this bright thing here and this tree, but all you're doing is biasing it, pushing him and losing his whole shoulder. This offset is really offset. Like, we don't offset verticals. Verticals we center. We offset horizontals. So he's going on one side of the page or the other side of the page. But verticals, look what it looks like when you offset a vertical. It looks like a mistake. So you're cutting his fingers here, really weird. You're cutting his shoulder here, really weird. And the frame, like the light on his face is amazing, but you have to also like style a shot and style, like, again, guy crouching down. Why is he crouching down? Why is he crouching down? Because all that does is make his clothes look fucked up. Like, all that does is mess up what your jeans look like. It messes up it messes up all of this stuff when you crouch down. So the sweater is wrong, because I shouldn't, as another guy, I don't want to see his chest hair like this. Like, it's not 1973 when chest hair and low shirts were a thing. Right now, chest hair and low shirts are a thing with like a very niche audience, which for you, that's too narrow an audience for who you're trying to speak to. This guy in a black t-shirt, in a white t-shirt, classic, timeless, lasts forever. Him wearing this sweater, he looks at this shot next year. Guess what? He hates the sweater. I hate it right now. He hates it next year because he stopped wearing it. He started to realize it was kind of soft for him to be showing so much chest. Like, at some point he comes to the realization that this is too much chesticles. So then he changes his style, and this photograph is no longer relevant because it's so style, but the style isn't right now. So again, I want this to really click as far as how important styling is. Like, I can't stress it enough how many images I saw today that missed the boat just because of what the subject was wearing, or the way that you look at what he's wearing. Black hat, black t-shirt. And you don't see the hat, you don't see the t-shirt. Like, so guess what you actually end up seeing? You see him. Because he's not hidden. Like, he's wearing a black collarless jacket, but you don't see the jacket before you see him. You see him. Colin Firth wearing a suit. He's sitting. Do you see how the suit pushes up over his shoulder a little bit? Because he was changing his pose so fast that I didn't have time to go in and adjust his suit in between every frame, and we were limited on time. But I want you to think, like, every time you can see the outfit makes, like, green, and that green is pulling off that green, and then he's got red on the hat, and that red is pulling off that, like, personal style. He's wearing Japanese denim. Like, it's like, and then this is like a black on black where, yes, you see Kiltony, but you see him first. This, she's wearing a long sleeve. Like, you don't even see what she's wearing. You just see her. I can't tell you how important styling is. And when you miss it, you can't use the photo. When you miss it, the photo becomes unusable. So be more scrutinous when it comes to what your subjects are wearing. You got top points. I'm giving you an 11 out of 10 on light and exposure, Laura, but the framing, you can't offset left or right when you're shooting vertical. Your subject goes in the center, and you hear me saying, oh, this isn't centered, or oh, this isn't centered. It's like we don't bias our stuff left or right when we're shooting vertical. I hope that part is clear. We're trying to center it. It's trying to be in focus. This is when we bias. When we're shooting these this way, when we're shooting this way, we don't bias. Because also look at what this looks like as a cover. It just looks so offset. It looks offset. And then also the fingers. Like, we don't cut fingers like that because it makes him an amputee. These are things that are super, super important to register, which means he can't hold his hand like that, or you have to move back to include his fingers. I hope that helps you. That is Laura Maynard. Let me make sure that I'm getting her last. Monero. There you go. Laura Monero. Thank you, Laura. And again, like, so close. But again, you're new to Portfolio Lab. You're new to shooting. You're on your way. You're on your way, and you're already making like huge strides with exposure, location, idea. I just want you to try harder and actually buy Vogue. Go buy Vogue. Go buy Vanity Fair and start living by looking at magazines. It's going to change your everything. It is going to change your everything. All right. So you guys should know I have a Pro Accelerator, and I'm recording new spots for all of my things. But I have a Pro Accelerator, and the thing that you'll notice when you go to the Carty method now and click Accelerator, when you click Accelerator now, it takes you to ProLab, because ProLab is where my accelerator lives now. The way that I do my accelerator now is you join, you pay yearly or you pay monthly, and my accelerator happens inside ProLab. Like, we're going to do one starting around halfway through January. That will go until, say, halfway through March, and then it'll start again in June or July, and it'll go for it. But the thing is that you get the ongoing support before my accelerator starts and the support after my accelerator is over as you're going through my information. I just realized that photographers who join my accelerator and then leave end up coming back because they miss the photo reviews and they miss the having a pro on them as they're growing. Because again, once you think like, I got it, and then stop submitting for review, you drop radically fast. And again, I see people who used to be in Portfolio Lab and absolutely smashing it with photos and seeing what they're shooting now and being like, oh, this one's cutting off the finger here and is no longer thinking about how to shoot double pages. It's like you just see all the things that people just stop doing. And then they're like, huh, I stopped getting work. People stop like, it's like, yeah, because you're not, it's like a race car driver. It's like a professional athlete. What do you think? Like, an athlete gets coached to the point where he's in the NBA, and then what? The coaching stops? Well, no, now he's being coached by an NBA coach, and he goes even up another level. But then he gets traded, and now he's on another team. No coach. No, of course, now he's got another coach. Like, think of a professional athlete and think of you as a professional photographer. Do you understand how hard it is to be a professional photographer? You know how many people and their mother have cameras and think that they're photographers? People who go out and buy an R5 and be like, I'm as good as Steve Carty. Like, they think that until put to the test. Like, on a photo shoot, you can tell the difference between someone who knows their shit and someone who doesn't have a clue. As soon as like one thing goes wrong. So what ProLab does is it keeps you on point And twice a year, we do my accelerator to get you back into the swing of what you should be doing. So I've shifted ProLab. I've made ProLab now my feature thing. And the thing that's crazy about ProLab is it includes this. It includes Portfolio Lab. So when you sign up for ProLab, you get this. So you get all of my everything. If you sign up for ProLab only, you get this, which is me doing photo reviews and helping you develop your work. But there's no talk about business. There's no talk about the business of photography because I save all of that only for my ProLab members, people who are a little bit more serious about making a living at this. So ProLab is how you join my accelerator. I'm going to be doing a webinar talking specifically about why this accelerator is so insane. And again, I can't, like, my accelerator should be $5,000 and it's $2,000 and you get to do it twice. So, and again, that $2,000, I have people who've taken my accelerator that are doing $10K a month, $10K a month from $0K a month because now they see the matrix. Again, taking my accelerator helps you see the matrix. Once you see the matrix, once you've been red pilled, I can't take that pill away from you. Now you know how to make money with your camera. You just have to do it. So seeing like Mike Graves do 10K a month is like, it tells you that you can do 10K. And then suddenly the 2K that you paid to learn how to do 10K a month seems like a bit of a discount. Seems like a bit of a like no-brainer. So again, until I establish market share and I have over 100,000 subscribers here, we're going to keep my accelerator this way. I've done it for 2 years. My accelerator, I've seen all the different, I've done many different iterations of it. The way that I have it right now, I believe that it's the best iteration of my accelerator. I've done the photo reviews now. Rollo, is the pose wrong for vertical? The pose is wrong because she cut her fingers off and he's offset. And also, like, does it matter whether it's vertical or horizontal? Well, it's a cover assignment. So covers are vertical. So she had to shoot vertical in order to do this assignment. So you asking whether the pose is wrong for vertical, the pose is just wrong, period. Wrong for vertical? No, just wrong, period. Not wrong for vertical, just wrong. We have to learn how to pose our subjects better, which comes from looking at references. I hope that helps. So go to thecartymethod.com/ProLab to learn how I can help you turn your dream of being a professional photographer into a reality and how I can do it in less than 6 months. Super simple. Again, for the serious. Not everybody's serious. Some people just fucking like watching YouTube, which is fine. I appreciate if you're just someone who likes watching YouTube or likes people watch me and they feel like they're doing something because you watched me. Amazing. Appreciate that. Appreciate the views. But you're not really doing anything until you have somebody coaching you. I have 4 coaches: business coach, creative coach, strategist, and my last coach is kind of like an everything coach. He kind of helps me with everything, including life and therapy and like, and again, my creative coach, like you should hear all these people talk to me. My creative coach, I had not talked to him for 2 months and he's like, sends me messages like, what's this bullshit? And I'm like, huh? And he's talking about one of my pictures on Instagram that he doesn't think is at my level and it needs to be off my Instagram immediately. Like, when I was in photography school, like, I'm 19 years old. I'm in the best photography school in the country, okay? Ryerson, which is now called TMU, Creative School. We do a crit and our professor would walk around the class and say, whose photo is this? And I'd be like, and he'd be like, okay, good. Whose photo is this? The guy next to me would put his hand up, and the teacher would pull it off the wall, rip it in half, rip it again, and then fling it at him. So it like hits him in the chest. And then he has his ripped photo. In other words, that doesn't deserve to be on the wall. Whose photo is this? Next guy's like, mine. He's like, okay. Whose photo is this? Claire puts her hand up. He takes it down, puts it on the ground, stomps on it, does this with his finger, picks it up, rips it, flings that at her. Claire, try harder. Whose photo is this? Like, that's what my critiques were like. So there was no like, you did this wrong, you did this right, I like your light, blah, blah, blah. Like, not how I do photo reviews. It is literally like, is this you? Yes? Rip, 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 fling. Do better. Like, that's what my photography school was like. So, and I was me and Bryce Duffy were the best in the school. And because we had a nice friendly competition against each other. We both went on to shoot for the Globe and Mail, like both went on to shoot celebrities and blah, blah, blah. But Bryce and I, when we were in school, we were like, Bryce would do something and I'd look at that, see it on the wall, and I wouldn't put my shit up. Or I'd put something up and Bryce would see it and I'd hear him, fuck. Like, I'd hear him scream swearing because my shit was better than his that week. So I'd hear like, fuck. So like, the level at which we took this when I was starting was at a level of seriousness that I don't even know if you understand. Like, how hard I tried when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I got my first studio when I was 21 years old. Shot my first magazine cover when I was 23. Shot Tom York from Radiohead. Shot Tony Bennett when I was 24 years old, 25 years old. Oscar Peterson, Phil Collins, like legends of, like, before I was 25. I was doing all of that stuff and shooting it on film, which means when you click, you don't get to see it on the back of the camera. You got to see it in here, and you got to see it right there. So, sorry to say, but photography has never been so fucking easy. It's never been so easy, and I get frustrated because it's so easy. And again, it's never been so you see what you're shooting. It's right there. Like, how fast you can improve. It's so easy. Victor, please stand by. It's so easy to improve. So I need you to take this seriously and try harder. So I'm going to tell you what our next week's assignment is because Victor is pressing. For week 50, it is simple. Your assignment for week 50 is your niche in black and white. Okay? I want your niche in black and white, which means black and white. It's not a conversion. I want it to actually be black and white. Exposure has to be perfect. And again, that's what I'm expecting to see next week. Week 50. Week 51 is another professional assignment, meaning the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, I'm looking at professional assignments. Week 51, I want to see photography as a statement. I want to see statement photographs, meaning I want you to create an image that's so bold that it says 1,000 words in a single frame. Okay? Photography as a statement, that's week 51. Next week, I am looking at your niche in black and white. Your niche in black and white. That is your assignments. I do have some photos of the week that I am going to give right now, starting, is this get dark again? Did this get darky again? Not really. Starting with this photographer right here, our first photo of the week goes to Mr. Steve Bordeaux. Steve, photo of the week, unequivocally. Congratulations, you murdered it. This is fantastic. First photo of the week, Steve Bordeaux. Our second photo of the week, an unequivocal killer. Very happy with this photographer. Photo of the week for Miss Donna Crenshaw. Donna, that is a luxury cover. Congratulations. That's a photo of the week. And Donna, you're on my radar again. And now you've also set your bar. So now guess what? You're not allowed to make a photo that's below this bar. You can't. Like now, if I see a bar, if I see a photo, Donna Crenshaw, that's below this, I'm going to show you this photo and remind you that you can do this. Congratulations, Donna. That is a photo of the week. Another photo of the week. I was quite hard on this photographer, but again, this is a level up. This is a photo of the week from Miss Natalie Bennett. Natalie, you need to lock in your post-production. I'm not going to embarrass you and zoom in on this face again, but every week I talk about it. You're getting better, but I need you to be less sloppy. And there's some sloppiness in here that I showed you when I was doing the review, but I do see it as an improvement and I have to honor you that way. Our next photo of the week, same thing. I was a bit hard on this photographer, but this is an improvement and this is worthy of a photo of the week. This is Kyle Kiono. Kyle, that's a photo of the week, Kyle. I went deep in on natural smiles. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. But other than that, this is a perfect frame. Should be very proud. That is Kyle Kiono with a photo of the week. And it's tricky here because I have 3 very close photos. So I'm going to give honorable mentions to Denise Tuggle, giving honorable mentions to Angela Pacino, and I'm giving honorable mentions to Laura Monero. Those 3 shooters came incredibly close to winning photos of the week, but the mistakes made in those photos are too big for me to let slide by. So those are my photos of the week. If I was to pick a single best in show, like just one, it's really hard if I was picking just one, but I would give it right here. If I was picking only one photo for best in show, it goes to Donna Crenshaw. Donna, congratulations. It's a magazine cover assignment, okay? Magazine cover assignment. So Donna Crenshaw takes it. Guys, that is photo review. What's the time? The time is 6. So we did this in 2 hours, which is pretty good. How's my heart rate? Pretty good. And again, this glitch that's happening with my screen going contrasty is something that I'm dealing with my team. I know about it. It's been going on for probably 3 weeks right now. I thought that I had it sorted last week. But then it appeared again. It's between my switcher, which is right here, that I use to like change camera. It's between my switcher and OBS. I now think it's my switcher. There was a time that I thought for sure it was OBS, but we're working on it. Guys, 4 o'clock for me is my sweet spot for doing this podcast, because if I start at 6 p.m., which is the time that everybody wants me to start, then I'm doing this till 8 p.m. and it kind of just ends my evening and makes it so I can't really do anything else. And I also have medication to take and dinner and all of this other stuff that kind of has to happen in the evening time, especially the medication stuff. So, yeah, that's why we're doing it like 4, 5 would be as late as I can go. But I do like not doing it at 2 because I have so many more viewers that watch me when I do it at this time. Guys, I hope you found today valuable. Sunday, we will be back for another insane episode of the Carty Method podcast. If you're interested in having your work looked at like this, if you have the confidence, you have the balls to have your work looked at like this is how you join. Go to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab and join. Know that I have nothing but love for the people who submit, for the people who put their heart and their work on the line. But know that it's not easy and it takes courage to do that. I'm glad that I have people in this Carty crew that have the courage to actually do that. And I appreciate you all. You know who you are. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for being I appreciate you guys for being here. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. One love. Oh, Sunday. My bad. Sunday. Saturday, if you're on my Substack, I post every Saturday. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Look at that. We're back here. We're back here.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.